You can feel the excitement here. The crowd looking on. The starting gate position right in front of the grandstand. The crowd gets a good look. Let's take a peek at Arrogate. I've watched him from the time he came to the track to the moment he's standing before us. A consummate professional. He hasn't turned a hair. He looks perfect. Checked in with starter Jay Slender. He said there's no problems with any of these horses. They'll all load perfectly, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Either way, you're about to see something special. Either Arrogate adds to his reputation as the best horse in the world, or we're about to see a shocking upset. It's post time for the TVG San Diego Handicap.
Feel for the TVG San Diego Handicap sent on their way. Rider's foot has come out the iron on Al Herfano. His last early, he's getting his feet back in the irons. No, he's not yet. Quickest into stride here is Accelerate, and he goes on with it. Donworth is racing right there in the second spot. Tucking in behind him comes Cat Burglar. Now still on the outside here, Al Herfano, the rider, unable to get his feet in the irons. He's got his left foot trying to get it back in, but not yet. And Arrogate and Mike Smith very comfortable at the back. Arrogate is no more than 4.5 off the leader. On to the backstretch they go now, and Accelerate on the inside. But Al Herfano, the rider, doesn't have much control, is going up on the outside to ensure the pace is good. Donworth races between them. In behind that comes Cat Burglar, and Arrogate is still last, just on a long rein though. Arrogate is last, giving them about 6 lengths start now. They have less than a half mile to go, and it's still Accelerate, the leader on the inside, taken on now by Donworth. Cat Burglar is in third. Then comes Al Herfano, and let's see, Arrogate from the back now. Mike Smith's having to push him along, but Arrogate starting to pick it up. Arrogate still has 6 to make up though. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and Accelerate out here. We're looking at a massive upset. Arrogate is still far, far back in the 4th spot, and Accelerate has opened up. Accelerate is well clear to Donworth. Arrogate just not in the mood today. Arrogate will finish far, far back, and it's Accelerate and Victor Espinosa clear by 8-9 lengths here. Accelerate romps home in the San Diego. Second, Donworth. Third, Cat Burglar. Obviously something amiss today with Arrogate. He never fired at all, and Al Herfano was last.
And that's why they run the race. And I have the feeling Bob Baffert's not going to be entering horses at Del Mar on days like today. The San Diego Handicap, which twice now has delivered shocking upsets. And remember, the only horse he beat lost his irons early on. Christina, is there any way to determine why this happened?
At this point, I still thought that he was going to get into that big, long stride that we are used to seeing, the stride that we saw in the Dubai World Cup. He is very capable of inhaling that kind of a margin on a horse. But you could see right when he switched to his right lead, he kind of pulled his head up, went up and down. His stride went a little choppy. And Mike Smith knew right away. He didn't try to give him that big left hand that encourages horses to go forward. He just didn't have it today. Plain and simple.
This is credit to the connections of Accelerate, Haranis Racing, and John Sadler. Brittany talking to them before the race about their expectations going in here. And Accelerate delivers. Victor Espinosa, who rode American Pharaoh, has taken down Arrogate. And with the winning connections, once again, Brittany Urton.
Some very jubilant connections. You can imagine. Costa, you said it to me right before the race. We're going to win it. Can you put into words what just happened?
I mean, if there was ever a day you're going to catch him, it's today. He's been on a break, mile and a 16th here at the spa. We thought we were sharp and ready to go, so we felt good.
Costa, he romped today, though. It wasn't a splitting victory by just a nose. It was a romp.
Yeah, that's the horse we know. He hasn't shown it the last few, but he's always been right there, always solid. That was the performance that you saw put him over the top.
You were full of upsets here at Del Mar. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Todd.
And pari-mutually speaking, I want everyone to prepare themselves for what they're about to see with the prices. There was a lot of talk about Del Mar still offering show wagering in a field of 5. The end result with Arrogate running out of the top 3 is you're going to see remarkable payoffs for finishing 3rd in this race. Those will be coming in just a little bit. Simon Bray is with the winning trainer of the TVG San Diego Handicap.
Who's got a big smile on his face. Winning trainer John Sadler. Winning trainer John Sadler joins me right now. John, what was the turnaround today? A disappointing effort last time out. New rider, blinkers today. clearly Arrogate didn't run his race, but what was the difference for your horse?
He just didn't run last time, and we did a lot of physicals on him going over, and we couldn't find out. He acted sick. He ran a flat race. But then I put some blinkers on him and worked him back, and he worked very sharp. I didn't decide till Monday, Tuesday of this week. He worked really well at Santa Anita. They worked 12 from the gate with Victor, and he was just breezing. So, you know, with a horse like this, it doesn't really have conditions. You're either going to run here or you're going to wait around. I didn't want to ship him out of town again, so we took a shot. He won 2 here last year, so he showed he handled his track well, even though it might be a little different this year, and got lucky.
And realistically, going in, you thought Arrogate, I mean, you thought you were running for second, right?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, Arrogate's the best horse in the world, so this is a thrilling win.
On to the TVG Pacific Classic.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
I mean, you know, we got the Breeders' Cup Mile for this horse down here. Mile and a quarter, I've kind of been hesitant, but as good as he went today, we'll look at it.
Best of luck. Enjoy this one. Back to you.
These are never tough. What happened out there?
You know what? I think he was, Mike, he said he was just flat. I think he was just flat. You know, I know coming down here it can be tough. Maybe I should have just blew him out here or something, but he was, he didn't have any horse. He was just going along, but never in the race did he feel like he had horse. And so, and he ran like it. He just, and the other horse was flat too. I thought he'd run better than that, but he just didn't want to go. So I don't know what, you know, he is just, so Mike just took care of him. But physically, he said he felt fine and all that, but he was just, and he looks good coming back. So I think he just laid an egg, you know, and was just flat.
Do you think it has anything to do with the racetrack here today?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just, you know, we're just going to have to, you know, work from here. Maybe, you know, came in a little bit more, maybe a little too overconfident and whatever, but it's, Mike said he was just, I could tell he wasn't, usually he's dragging you or whatever, but he was just flat, you know, so, you know, as long as nothing shows up, but he said physically he just didn't run. You know, they'll do that to you.
The horse bobbled next to him at the start. Was there anything there? Did you see any contact between those two horses?
No, that had nothing to do with it. He just didn't run his race, and you know, that's why I wanted to give him a race down here to go into the Pacific Classic. But you know, he's got this race in him. But unfortunately, I hate to have him run like that. But I think he's okay. I think he just didn't run.
If he comes back okay, could we see him get some time off and focus on the fall, or what's your initial reaction? Just, I realize we're minutes away from this performance.
No, if he's all right, he'll run the Pacific Classic, but he'll be ready. I mean, you know, I think Del Mar's been, I've had tough. Silver Charm did the same thing on to me one time here, you know, so it just, those things happen. So I thought he was, you know, I didn't really rev him up like I usually, like if this would have, you know, been but I thought I could get a race like this would be good for him. And so, but he just didn't respond, and it happens, and that's why I have white hair.
We appreciate the time, Bob.
You got to give Bob Baffert so much credit. First of all, doing that interview
Very
is gracious in and of itself after a moment like this, and then also leaving with the quip, that's why I have white hair.
Well, and listen, that's one of the best trainers in the world in Bob Baffert. You know, you look at what he has done over his career, and just in the last, you know, several seasons in the Triple Crown, everything that Bob has accomplished. This horse is in some of the best hands, some of the best care possible, and like he said, they're not machines, and sometimes they do.
Yeah, just like people
run
have off
flat.
days.
We talked about Dubai. He came back from Dubai. This was a real theme going back in years past, the Dubai bounce. He just didn't quite have it today.
And Christina, as fans, we just want to hear that he's okay, because everyone starts speculating something's not wrong. According to Bob Baffert, all indications early on, he's fine. He just